Hi everyone, my name is Anurag Gupta. I'm from MXD Software Private Limited, and in this video we will see the demo of Odoo Sales application. So what is Odoo Sales application? Odoo Sales application allow us to manage the sales of our businesses, right? So to begin with this, we are at our Odoo dashboard. In Odoo dashboard, we are able to see this sales icon right here. This dashboard is dependent on what version of Odoo I am using. For example, either I am using the Odoo Enterprise or I am using the Odoo Community version. In Odoo Enterprise, the Odoo is very, you can say, very attractive. It has a very nice theme. In Odoo Community, it has a very basic kind of UI, but both the UIs are very understandable and you can work with them all well. So here I am at the enterprise and I'm able to see this sales icon. If you are not able to see this sales icon in your system, what you can do is you can just come to this application. This application section have the list of all the application that we can install in our Odoo system, and after that we can search sales. Once we search sales, then we will be able to see that here is the sales application. As this application is already installed into my system, that is why it is showing me learn more. But if it is not installed, then it would be showing me activate. Once I will click on activate button, then the sales application will get activated into my system and I will automatically redirect it to the dashboard, right? So as we have done this sales icon will appear here, right? So how we will approach the demo of sales Odoo Sales in this video? We will approach it like the question answer based segment. In the question answer based segment, we will first ask one question from ourselves. Most possibly the question come from a business problem, and then we will try to figure it out whether we will be able to do this in Odoo or not. We will pick one business problem, we will ask a question from ourselves, and we will discuss whether this is possible in Odoo or not, right? Nice. So to begin with, the first thing is that we have to register a sales. We had already covered Odoo CRM from where we will receive some leads and we will send some quotation to our client. After sending quotation, we will mark the lead as win. After winning the lead, we have to do the communication with client, and then we need to identify what are the things that client want. We need to attach them in our quotation and in our sales order, and after connecting them with our sales order, we can punch the sales order. Now based on your company requirement, you can ask me. I have the sales order punching policy, or I can have the invoicing policy in two formats. The very first invoicing policy is I first take the payment, and after that I will dispatch the material. After dispatchment of material, then I go for the invoicing part, right? This is first thing. Second scenario can be, firstly I take the order, then I will deliver the product. After delivery, then I will raise the invoice. This is the second approach. Third approach is, firstly I receive the payment, then I raise the invoice, and after that I deliver the product. In all the three scenarios, we are having different invoicing policy. We will look into that some later on. So our first question is how we would be able to punch our sales order in Odoo CRM. To punch our order in Odoo Sales CRM, firstly we have to open the sales application. After opening the sales application, you would be able to see I am having a list of other sales order that I had already punched. Then I will create on new to create a new quotation. Please keep in mind that quotation and orders, there are two different things in Odoo CRM. If you firstly want to create a quotation, then you can come to quotation. If you directly want to create a sales order, then you can jump on sales order too. So firstly, I would like to create a quotation. So let's create a quotation. I will select any of my client. So I have selected my client. Here is the client detail, and then I will select the product. So let's say I have chosen a particular product. This is one product and this is another product. So this is how I can add the product, and this particular product that I have selected have multiple variants. We can add variants in product. You can check out how we can manage variant in our other videos. So this particular product have two variants, so I would like to choose the black one. So let's just confirm that, or if you want I can just change that to the white one also. So let's say we are going to deliver the white one, right? So we are going to deliver the white one, right? So this is the initial things. Firstly, we have added the customer. Secondly, we have added the product into this. Now you would be able to notice that in quantity we have this red symbol. What this red symbol means? This red symbols means that this particular product is not available in our inventory. Okay, so we will handle that later. Firstly, let me remove this. Why? Because our simple question is how we can create a sales order. So currently we are only focusing on that. After this I can just save this data, and then now I can print this and send this to my customer, or I can send this directly via mail to my customer. Just I have to click on send button. Then after that this is the configuration window. We just need to do it once. After configuration this, then we have two email. Here we have to write the client email. Here is the email content that we are sending a quotation to our client, and here is the quotation that is prepared. Then we can click on send, and this quotation can be sent to the client. So, right, so this is one thing. Now the second thing is let me jump into quotation. So I would be able to see that I have just recently created this quotation, and its status is quotation. If I would like to see any other information related to this quotation, I can click on this icon, and I would be able to see the other parameters that are into this quotation but are not visible in this list line. So I can just tick those items that I want to see, and they would be here, right? Now the second thing is, let's say the discussion is done with client and client is very happy with this quotation. So I will just confirm this quotation, right? So the client is ready to take this order. So I just want to take your attention to this. Currently our quotation is 70, and in our sales order, if you go to orders, then our sales order is 69. Once we confirm this quotation will be converted into a sales order. So let's just confirm this. So we have confirmed this, and now we jump into orders. Now we would be able to see that that particular quotation is converted into a sales order. Nice, we are good at till this point, right? And after this we can create invoice, and we can do multiple other things. So this was just the ending of this particular segment, how we can create the sales order for a customer. Now the second question arises. The second question is whether I would be able to take the amount first, and after that I will create the invoice, or I have to deliver the thing first, and after that I will raise the invoice. So we will take those things one by one. So very first thing is, we want to deliver the item first, and after that we want to create invoice, right? So there are two ways of delivering a particular item. Either you can directly jump on orders, and then you can open your sales order, and after that you can click on this delivery icon. After clicking on this delivery icon, you will be able to see your delivery details. You just need to validate whether that you are sending this, right? Then you would be able to send this. Or if you have a dedicated delivery department, then what we can do is we can come to sales, then we can come to inventory, and when we come to inventory, then we would see that this is loading. Yeah, then we will see that in delivery, once we click on this, then we would see that we have a delivery that is again sales order 70. So here it is. So sales order 70, I will click on this, and this will get open, and this is opened by our dedicated delivery person who is handling all the delivery. So the delivery person, what he will do is, once the sales order is confirmed, then the delivery person will open the inventory. After clicking the inventory, he will land into delivery orders, and after that he will see the list of items that are available for delivery. and then he will click on this particular sales order, let's say sales order 70. Once he click on this, then he can click on then he can check what are the items that they have to ship. They will gather all the items, they will pack him, and they will make it ready for shipment. After this, they will fill the detail and they will just validate. We will cover the delivery into other question also. So our primary focus is just to create invoice in this particular segment, right? Are you right? So as we have validated this, you would be able to see that this item is validated. So we'll jump back to our dashboard, go to sales, and we will come to our sales order 70. Now when we will open this, then if you look into this delivery, then you will see the validated icon is gone from here, right? Means this particular item is delivered. Now when we click on create invoice, then I will click on regular invoice and I will create that. There are multiple kind of invoice, we will cover them in our other videos. Now the invoice is created, very nice. Now this is the format, like this is the product, this is the remark, this is the quantity, this is the price, this is the customer. These are the general entries that this particular invoice will create. General entries are required for your accounting purpose, and here are the other information. You can check out who salesperson was involved in all these activities, what are the bank account, and these things, right? And after this, you can after doing all this information, you can confirm this invoice. Once you will confirm that, then here you will see the option to print this particular invoice. I will click on print, and a nice invoice will come in front of me, right? I can download this. So let's download this invoice. So here I can so here is the view of my invoice, right? So here is my invoice. You can see all the information right here. You can also customize the layout of this invoice. Here is my company logo, this is my company detail, this is the client detail, this is the invoicing detail, right? You can customize these details also. Now next, as the invoice is created, I have seen everything looks good. I can click on send button, and after clicking on send, I can send this invoice to my customer via email. So let's say send, and this invoice is sent to my customer. Nice. So this is how we will create an invoice in the Odoo after delivering a particular product. Now our next question is whether we would be able to create an invoice before sending a product. So for that, we need to come to our configuration. We need to jump into setting. In setting section, we need to come to this particular segment, that is invoice what is ordered, invoice what is delivered. What these two options means? These two options means if I click on invoice what is ordered, then I can create the invoice of all the items which are available in my invoicing system that is available in my sales order. So what these two options means? The first option means invoice what is ordered. So invoice what is ordered means I would be able to create the invoice for all the items which are available in my sales order. Invoice what is delivered means I can create the sales order for only, I can create the invoice for only those items which are delivered to the customer. So for the item which are not delivered, we can create a back order for that, right? Now let's jump into this invoice what is ordered. So let's just save this, go to orders, create one sales order. Here is my customer, here is my product. Let's say we are having 2 products, and after having these 2 products, as either this item is not available in my inventory, still I can create invoice for this. So the invoice is created, and I can confirm this invoice, and I can send this invoice to my customer, right? This is how this invoice is sent. Now I will show you how we can configure that we would only be invoiced those items who are delivered, and the items which are not delivered we will create a back order for that, so that we can send that item again and then we will raise the invoice. So let's say we will jump to orders now. We have two items. Firstly, we have to select our customer. Now let's say we will add our product. This is our product 1, and then this is our product 2, right? These are the two products. Now you would be able to see that this particular product is not available in our stock, that is why it is showing red. Let me just confirm that. After confirming, let's create invoice, right? I am creating invoice and create regular invoice, and I would be able to see that as the item is not available for delivery, that is why it was not showing me in the invoice. Let me first confirm this, and after this I can send this to my customer, right? So this is how the invoicing works in Odoo. Now your next question would be, how would I be able to see the reports of my sales, that how much sales is done by which salesperson, how much sales is done in which region, and all the other information. To view that, we have I have my two favorite views. First is the pivot view, and second is the list view, right? These are the two kind of views. Firstly, let's to understand that, jump to the reporting section. Then let's jump into sales, and here is that pivot view and here is that list view. What I can do is I can group by this report into multiple kind of segments. For example, I want to see that which salesperson is doing how much in this organization. So I would be able to see that these are the things, that this salesperson, these are the salesperson which are doing this much business in in our organization. Now the next thing is I can play around with this search button. I just need to click on this and I can configure this report as I want. I can take mostly all the parameters that I punch at the time of sales order creation. So let's say we will click, so if you want to add another detail into this, I just need to click on custom filter, and I can pick any attribute that I want that is available in this particular system, and most of the attributes are available. So Odoo reporting is very comprehensive. You can generate mostly all kind of reports in Odoo, right?